Well, hey everybody. Welcome to the update preview stream. This is Bugs here. I'm joined today by Artemis and Miss D. Say hi, guys.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
So, what do we got going on today? Well, it is 1 week since the big update and forced wipe, and so we're seeing a lot of fixes and work on some new features. As always, we're going to go through what is going on the staging branch. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to do at Misty underscore that's me in chat, and we'll get to as many questions as we have the opportunity to. And before we get into it, what's going on with wipes? Well, server whips are for Rustafied servers just the weekly Thursday wipe servers. So that's going to be your mains, your smalls, your solos, Zen Labs, and the like. Now, for these wipes, they are happening at the regular scheduled time for the region, which is 3 p.m. local time for each region. That means EU wiped 3 hours ago, AUSEA wiped like 12, 13 hours ago, and the US servers will wipe at 3 p.m. EST, which is just under 2 hours from now. And these are, of course, map wipes only because blueprints wiped last week. Well, for the servers that do wipe blueprints. So, what do we got going on in development this week? Well, first and foremost, as is per usual after a big update, especially a large update that releases a lot of new things, we have some fixes that have gone live in a couple optional client and server hot fixes. So specifically, they had some issues with directional sound right after the update, and that was fixed. And there were some issues with being unable to drop items when mounted to vehicles. And they fixed some moon pool reflecting the sky issues and NPCs leaving doors open on the cargo ship. There were several areas on the oil rig that appeared blocked when using low object quality, so that's been resolved as well. And there were some issues with the patrol helicopter not shooting rockets, and that's still fixed, but they're also working on some more patrol helicopter behavior. We'll get into that as well. They had a fix for this ping estimator thing, which was potentially causing some minor server stalls every 5 minutes, which is not ideal, but thankfully looks like it has been fixed. They updated the pilot light on the military flamethrower. They greatly reduced the patrol helicopter event zone stale time. And they added a dedicated retro tool cupboard view to the store page. And they also fixed some miscellaneous errors. So, yeah, those all should be live in various patches and hotfixes that have already gone up. And I think it's possible we might see maybe another hotfix, an optional one to fix a couple other things potentially. It wouldn't be out of the question, but I think the majority of the things that need to be fixed after the update, the high priority things, have been released already. So, what do we got going on in forward development? Well, they did do another tweet or another post on X that gave us another sneak peek of the progress on bikes. And we've got that video here we can show you. And yeah, you can see the bikes are coming along. It looks like there's going to be a couple different types of them. I don't think these are necessarily the final models, if you know what I mean. But you can see they're working on the physics and the the foot movement and various other things related to this new vehicle coming in the game. Now, we're not sure all the specifics of this. It looks like maybe we'll have some actual bicycles that are player propelled, given the whole foot movement thing. It looks like also there's going to be some motorbikes, maybe even some sidecars. And in the back there, there's even a tricycle type of thing. So we might have a couple different types of motorcycle or bicycle type vehicles coming in, and they continue working on it. So I don't know when this is going to make it in, if it'll be for the next update. I think that's possible, but I don't even know if I would even say 50-50 at this point, because it looks like a good amount of functionality and various different things to account for. So maybe we'll need another month or two before the bikes actually come in as new vehicles. But it is cool see some progress, and I always appreciate when the devs post kind of work in progress footage because it tends to be funny and it's always nice to see. On top of that, they're working on some new stuff with regards to Bradley and specifically the scientists that pop out of Bradley. This is a new feature that started last week. If you missed it, basically, when you shoot Bradley with a couple of rockets, eventually 4 scientist NPCs will pop out and start shooting you as well. And what they're doing is, first and foremost, they've added some heavy scientists into the mix. This hasn't been merged in yet, so we're not able to show it off quite yet, but it does look like some, if not all, of the scientists that pop out will be heavy scientists in the near future. And also, they've made it so they've got like a more aggressive chase behavior, and they alternate between taking cover and chasing when spawning. So, like right now, a lot of times it seems like the scientists really just hide behind Bradley and take cover, and it looks like it's going to kind of stagger back and forth between those scientists. While some will just immediately go after and chase you, and others will just take cover and try to shoot you from behind Bradley. And I imagine this is probably going to go in with the next update, most likely, but probably not before then. There's also a number of power fixes coming in. As you probably recall from last week, they did a whole ton of improvements to the electrical system. They took out a lot of power requirements for the smaller items so they don't consume any power. They also got rid of a bunch of phantom drain issues and things like that. But as expected with a robust system like electricity, there's going to be some other changes. And so we're seeing a bunch of other fixes come in this week as well. Not sure if these are going to go on hot fixes, or I think more likely they'll come in the next update and forced wipe. But some of what we're seeing basically is they reduced the electrical branch minimum branch out power from 2 to 1. They reduced the electrical button press time from 5 seconds to 1. They reduced the power burst from 2 to 1 power, given they now consume 0 power. They've added some uh, commands for admins for setting the electrical battery charge or depleting it, so you can kind of test stuff as an admin if you want to. And they fixed electrical components consuming 0 power, still mentioning that it was 1 power in their informational panel. So basically, a lot of things that don't consume any power didn't have the right description update, so they've updated that. And finally, they've added a pipette command that gives you the item you're looking at and places it in your hand. If you already have it, it swaps it with your current selected item. And I don't think this is going to be an admin only command. I think this might be a player command. So maybe the electricians out there in Rust will want to bind this one. But we'll have to test that a little bit more before it goes live. And then on top of that, they're working on a bunch of other stuff. One of the potentially more significant things we saw in the past week in commits is that the Nexus server to server transfer and clan system stuff has actually been merged into main. It has long existed on aux 2. It's kind of partially been merged into the game, but not really. And I think for months and months, it's been mostly just on the aux 2 branch and out of reach to normal people. But now, as of this week, as of the other day, it has been merged in to the main branch. So we've got the clan table coming in with that, and we've got the whole clan system, which, if you're unfamiliar, basically the Nexus body of work is where they create different kind of server nodes that are all connected to each other. And then people can, in game, players can go via a boat from each Nexus, from each node to another node. And then, kind of baked in with all that, is the clan system that you operate from the clan table. And it's kind of like the team UI system on crack. It's instead of trying to manage for 10 to 20 people in a clan on one server, what this is kind of allowing for is to manage hundreds of people over various different servers. And so it's definitely an interesting system. I think there's still work to do before this is able to go live. But given it has been merged into main, makes me think, maybe they're going to be launching some Nexus servers at some point in the near future. Now, unlike what we kind of originally thought way earlier in the days of Nexus, this isn't going to allow us to link, say, like US Medium 1 to US Medium 2. That it doesn't look like that's going to be how this works because those are two completely separate servers. Instead, I think what this is going to do is have a new type of server list called Nexuses or Nexi, I don't know. And then within that, it's a new server type where you have kind of just one master server that has a couple different nodes. And so that's all to say, I don't know from a server owner standpoint how this will be rolled out. If maybe FacePunch will just have a couple Nexus servers to start. I imagine that would be the case for at least the first month or so. A lot of times, FacePunch will just launch something on their own first. And then once they're sure it's ready to go, then they'll give access to the rest of the community to do. But we'll keep a close eye on this. This is some potentially significant movement, being that it's merged into main, and we're seeing some more commits to it and everything like that now that it is merged into main. And so, yeah, we'll keep you posted on that. We might see the Nexus and Clan system come in the near future. There's also been some more work on the M939 truck, which I think is going to be a new vehicle controlled or player controlled vehicle. The truck itself is kind of like a military transport 3-axle vehicle with like a covered thing on the back. So potentially this will allow for groups to get around on land with a bunch of people in the trunk, so to speak. So we'll keep you posted on that. Still not merged in or anything yet. So I get the sense this might come after the bikes as far as vehicle launches are concerned in the game. But we'll keep you posted. They're also doing some more work on cliff reworks. So that's the just cliffs you see around the terrain and everything like that on ProcGen. So maybe we'll see some new cliffs in the near future. They're doing more work on the outpost redesign. This is all that monument rework, body of work stuff going on. So we're seeing some more progress on that, some more gray boxes and things like that being worked on. They're doing some work on wire slacking, which I'm not sure exactly what that is. I think it's going to deal with how you can wire the electrical stuff and lay out the wires potentially. They're also doing some fixes for IO snapping. This is the thing that went live last week where you hold left shift and then it will line up either horizontally or vertically and snap into a grid. And they're just doing some miscellaneous fixes for that, which is not super surprising. Also, in the realm of fixes, they're fixing the chicken soup blocking certain prompts because it's got that big chicken head in the way. So that should no longer do that in the near future. They're doing some tweaks, as I mentioned before, to the new patrol heli behavior. If you're not familiar, they launched last week a bunch of changes to how this patrol helicopter works, how it strafes, how it fires, all this stuff. And long and short is, especially, I'm hearing a lot of complaints on like solo servers where you can't get the helicopter to stick around long enough to even take it down because it just kind of flees away or goes where it previously wouldn't have. So I imagine they're just tweaking some things with regards to that. Probably won't see that until the next update and forced wipe. Also, in the realm of AI controlled behavioral stuff, the cargo ship is getting some tweaks in that realm as well. We have seen a couple instances where the cargo ship will go through terrain on the map, specifically some icebergs and stuff like that, if they're placed on the map very near to where the harbor dock is. We've just seen instances where people will build a base on one of those areas and then the cargo ship goes through and just demolishes the whole base in one go. Definitely not ideal, definitely not intended, but uh, hey, it's an issue and they're working on fixing it. So I don't know if that also will be fixed this month. I imagine that probably has to wait until next month and a map wipe and some kind of relayout of some things potentially on ProcGen as well. So we'll keep you posted on that. And they're also doing some rewriting of the ping estimation functionality as they did have to do a fix for that, having the server like bog out every 5 minutes or so. And so we'll probably see some changes to how that ping estimation is working, but from a player standpoint, it'll probably look the same. And then they've also fixed the storage adapter not working after being reskinned, after reskinning a tool cupboard. So that should be resolved in the near future as well. But that is about it on what we got going on. I do want to say, on a side note, from an anti cheat level, I'm very happy to report we continue to see EAC acting quicker than we have seen before. I continue to see things where I get a report, I go on, it's a brand new account, it's obviously hacking, it's definitely linked to previous hacking accounts. And holy shit, would you believe it? EAC already banned it by the time we look at it, which previously would not happen, like pretty much ever. So and I'm very happy to report that we are seeing changes to EAC in the past several weeks, and especially in the past week, they are taking action quicker. They're getting rid of hackers quicker. And God, is that nice to see. Now, the hacking situation is still a huge problem, and they're not getting rid of all of them as quickly as they should be. So, still definitely an uphill battle. But to see any changes and specifically any improvements to EAC and the quickness in which they ban, holy shit, is that a breath of fresh air. And I'm very happy to be able to acknowledge that improvement. And I intend that these improvements will continue. And maybe, fingers crossed, knock on wood, all that stuff, maybe in the next month or so, we could actually, for the first time in, I don't know, 10 years, see this hacking situation be maybe a little under control. So that would be wonderful. And shout out to EAC and Facepunch for the hard work they're doing on anti cheat improvements. But that about does it for what's going on. It's a kind of quiet week as far as showing stuff off, which is generally what we see the week after Force Swipe. There's generally not much going on staging and not a whole ton to discuss. But hey, that's what we got going on. Do we have any questions from the audience?
Yes, we do. Let's start with when is whip.
When is WIP? Good question. So it is Thursday weekly wipe servers for Rustafied that are wiping. So that's your mains, smalls, and solos and Zen Labs. And those are wiping at regular scheduled time for the region. That's 3 p.m. local time for the region. That means EU wiped over 3 hours ago. AUSEA wiped 12, 13 hours ago. And the US servers will wipe at 3 p.m. Eastern, which is just over an hour and a half from now.
Mm, Has there been a change to the server pathing with the new, more accurate ping display update? A lot of players are reporting much worse ping since the update.
Yeah, it's weird that whatever that stuff they're doing with the ping estimation, it's not working as intended fully. Is the best I can put it. It's causing, from my understanding, some unintended negative performance results. I think is probably the safest way to put it. I understand why they're doing it. Many servers have this A2S shit on it as part of a DDoS protection. Many of our servers have this. And I hesitated ever even doing this with our hosts because it does kind of look like you're faking a ping, right? Because it's showing the ping to the local POP, point of presence, instead of the actual server, which could be across the world and your ping could be much more. I understand why they want to show actual pings. And I've also heard from my hosts, hey, this is something we got to do. It helps with performance, it helps with DDoS. And so I think some ping estimation stuff would be good to actually show people, hey, this is the actual ping on the server, because otherwise it's a useless metric if it's easily faked or improper. But that being said, I think this ping estimation stuff that they're working on did have some unintended consequences. And so therefore they need to tweak it and everything. And so if we did see another like optional client or server hotfix come out this month prior to the next big update, my guess would be it probably would be related to the ping estimation stuff because they've done a couple fixes for it and it's still not performing as intended. And not for nothing, maybe they should just get rid of it until it's actually working, and especially if it's causing performance issues for players in the server. Maybe just go the route of what was it, global base rendering or whatever, and just be like, oh shit, it's not ready. Let's take it out until we refactor it. But as it stands, I think it's still in play, but just not functioning the way they want it to.
Like I was just making sure you're done.
Yes, yes.
So, yeah, okay. Do we know why it seems to be impossible to fix oil rig radiation?
Yeah, I'm not really sure with that one. I think maybe they need to do some more tweaks on that. I have heard a couple complaints. I'm not sure of the total specifics of it, but I think maybe they do need to tweak some stuff with the oil rig rads.
Is there any random disconnect fixes?
No, I have heard people complaining about random disconnects. I have heard people complaining about random crashes since the update. There's the basics. I mean, the number one cause for random disconnects from the server that I've seen is people just gaming on Wi-Fi. Especially this game is very particular about keeping a connection to the server. So if your Wi-Fi blips out, it very often will just disconnect you from the server because it's not very forgiving. So definitely plug into Ethernet if you're getting disconnected. Also, not for nothing, the global internet and especially routes across the global internet have been shit. I've never seen them this bad. Uh, I I think it is a number of cyber attacks going on. I don't think it's cyber attacks. I don't think it's like DDoS specifically at one server or another. I think it's I get the sense that these big hosting providers are attacking each other because everyone's a scumbag apparently in this space. But on top of that, we've seen issues with ISPs holding hosts hostage and making them pay money for more bandwidth. We've seen, especially in certain of these countries with conflicts, we've seen the routes go completely to crap or go down for a period of days. And I mean, just look at X. Every week or so, you'll see something trending about Instagram being down, Facebook being down. That shit's not an accident. That's not like someone like unplugged something in the data center accidentally. No, that's all attacks. That's coordinated attacks. And what you get with a global internet infrastructure that's constantly every day being attacked from all different sources is, yeah, it turns out that it kind of sucks if you're playing online games. And that's just something I've noticed. I've been hosting servers for 10 years. We've been with probably 12 to 15 different hosts. We've experienced all the major networks. Um, and I've never seen it this bad. I've never seen it this inconsistent. But once again, I think that's on a global scale. I think that's a macro, like core internet infrastructure scale, not just some bullshit with this community. So, will that get better? I don't know. I hope so. I hope a lot of stuff gets better. Am I seeing a lot of stuff getting better? No, not on a global scale. That doesn't seem like we're heading in that direction. I hope we do, but I'm not. I'm not betting on it. But hey, EAC is getting better, so we've got that going for us at least.
Mm, yeah, and about the hacker thing, wouldn't it help if they IP ban the hackers instead?
IP bans are very inefficient, just like region blocking is very inefficient with the proliferation of VPNs. People can get a new IP, they can get new hardware ID. They can say I'm from Transylvania, they can say I'm from California, they can say I'm from Toronto, and they can do that within the time it takes me to verbalize it. So blocking IPs is not a valid option. It just stands to like start shadow banning people that are part of the same VPN network. And region blocking is not viable either because of the VPNs. It's just not very viable. We've looked into it, but now EAC can do I think a lot more with hardware IDs and stuff like that. But we don't have access to those metrics or anything like that. So there's nothing really we can do except intend that EAC continues to improve.
Mm, Sorry, I'm late. If this has been asked, is there any updates on the bike?
Yeah, we can show the video of the bike again. If you missed it on Twitter, they posted, Facepunch posted the other day, a recent update on the bike. You can see kind of some of the progress. And yeah, it's coming along. I It's definitely coming along. I love the feet movement. I hope they keep that in because that's hilarious.
Yeah, I also posted the link in chat if you want to see more on Play Rust on Twitter. X it's called now.
Yes, on X. Don't dead
X,
name
yeah.
Twitter, you bastards.
Don't talk about my ex like that. What the hell? Let me see here. Next one. Any knowledge if the circuit board will be coming back to staging now that electric is being focused on again?
Not really sure. There was the stuff with the breadboard that was part of a hack week, and there is some kind of electrical bodies of work that are in, I guess, the concept limbo, hack week limbo state. And the most recent I heard about that, I think, um, was the dude from France, Shelby. I think, yeah, Shelby on Twitter, who does QA for Facepunch and does some great tweets, mostly in French, but hey, translate is there. But he said the breadboard will probably make an entrance when they have another hack week. So I don't know when that will be, but I do think it is planned. It is coming at some point in the future.
Just saw someone said that. Also, do you have any idea what this Nexus news is?
Yeah, well, the Nexus stuff we've seen for years. We've known that Nexus is that server to server transfer body of work where players will be able to join a certain type of server that will be part of a node network of servers, so to speak, where you could have four, even five, maybe sub nodes, all with their own map, all kind of standalone, but then linked where a player can hop in a boat with their stuff, with their crew, and go from one of these nodes to another. And then, as part of that, is of course the clan system stuff, which is allowing people to manage their team or their clan, as it were, between these different servers utilizing a clan table. Now, the big news this week is that all that stuff got merged into main staging. Previously, I think it was on aux 2, if anything, but we haven't seen much movement in it with it in the past several months. And then to see it get merged to main, and then we're seeing some other commits towards it, really does make me think, hey, we might actually see these Nexus servers be launching soon. Now, again, this is a new type of server. It's not like we're going to be able to link Medium 1 and Medium 2 together, and you'll be able to get from Medium 1 to Medium 2 via a boat. I don't think that's how it's going to work out. Instead, I think it's going to be on the server list, like there'll be official, community, modded, and then Nexus. And then that will be a specific type of server that has those different subnodes of servers. So maybe they're gearing up to have Facepunch launch a couple Facepunch run Nexus servers for the update next month. I think that's a lot more probable now than it ever has been, given this merge into main. But really, it's all up in the air at the moment. But the long and short is the big news this week is it got merged into main, which is a big indicator that tells us the devs are moving forward with it and it might have a launch into production imminent in the next several weeks or months.
Do you know how accurate the minigun is on a medium range?
Um, that's really kind of hard to define. I don't think it's terribly accurate on the medium range, especially when you're going full auto. But I don't know if anything, maybe we could fire one up against a wall and demonstrate real quick. We got not much
Yeah.
else to show off. So,
Let me see here. What is the latest news about this Rustafied server stats?
oh, the server stat system is in development. We had someone develop a Harmony plugin to capture all this data and feed it into a database. And that portion of the work is pretty much done, thankfully. And now we're engaging with another development company to actually code out the website with the stats, with the leaderboards, all this stuff. We're hoping to get something out in the next several months, but I'm also not rushing it. I'm taking our time. If we just wanted to get any old willy nilly stats up, we could just take something that exists and do it, as I'm sure you've seen with some other servers. But we really want to do something unique and special that is really just catered towards our audience and something you can only get at Rustafied and through playing on Rustafied servers. And so with that, it's taken a little bit longer to develop, but I'm very excited about it. And I do hope to have a launch sometime, maybe quarter two of this year if we're really lucky. But it is a good amount of development cycles between then and now. So we'll have to see, but I will keep you updated.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
it's a bit of
okay, sorry.
sorry, miss. No, no worries. A bit of an odd question. Obviously, the accuracy. I can fire it without compensating at all, and then I can fire it with a little bit of compensation. I mean, I think it would depend on your DPI and if you're used to the gun as well and how you're compensating.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Ready? Okay. So do we know what server stats is about?
Uh, Server stats.
Yeah, I think some people don't know what stats you're talking about.
Oh yeah, so we're working on a player stats and a leaderboard system for our servers. So basically, you'll be able to log in with Steam, and we might have a pro version or whatever, but we do plan on giving a lot of it away for free, and it's just going to give you all the information about kill to death and enemies and heat maps and various other things. So we're building out all custom, and it will just be a stats system and a leaderboard system for the Rustified servers.
Thank you. Is miniguns only are in tier 3 crates?
Yeah, I think they were just in the locked crates from what I was seeing, like the hackable crates.
Yep, that and the arms of the heavies.
And yeah, and apparently they can drop in heavy loot. That was another change last week, but I'm seeing some tweaks and some modifications to that in the commits that have me think maybe that wasn't working the way they intended it to. And me personally, I was never able to find one in the heavy loot. So maybe I just never got lucky.
Can Rustafied make a second AU long 3 server? It's always queue there and we need more vanilla official, no BP wipe servers.
Well, we are not planning on opening any new servers at the moment. We're really focusing on improving the quality of the servers and maintaining the quality of the servers that we have now. We have close to 40 servers, and that's a good amount to manage. And we're bringing on more administration and everything, and doing a lot of work on anti cheat and stuff in the back end. So that's really our focus now. And there's no immediate plans to open any new official servers. The other thing is there's a limited cap on official servers we can open. Facepunch kind of lets communities open them occasionally, but it's not something we can just choose to open. We need Facepunch approval to do that. And I'm not even seeking that out at the moment because, once again, our focus is just improving and maintaining the quality of our existing servers for the time being. That could change in the future, but if we were to add another server, it would probably be an AU solo, if I had to guess.
I think we should do a recap.
Yeah, that sounds good. So it is 1 week since the update enforced wipe, and it was a big update. There was a lot of stuff that went live. And so, as per usual, we're seeing a number of fixes go live and optional server and client hot fixes. We saw a couple go live over the weekend and over the past week. And with that, they did some fixes to directional sound and being unable to drop items when mounted to vehicles. And the moon pool was reflecting the sky. And NPCs were leaving doors open on cargo ship, and there were a bunch of other issues, like the ping estimator was potentially causing minor server stalls every 5 minutes, and I think it's still not working as intended. And there are a bunch of other fixes. You can see the full list on rustafied.com. As always, we do an article every Thursday that describes what's going on in development in text and pictures. So you can always find that on rustafied.com, and there's a full list there. On top of that, though, we've got some progress on bikes. This is a new vehicle type to enter the game in the near future. They did post on X a little video showing some more progress of it. This was the second or third of its kind showing off these bikes. And you can see they're mountable, and you can see the feet move in a hilarious fashion. And what we're seeing from this is it looks like there'll be definitely some motorbikes, maybe manually operated bicycles, maybe even a tricycle. You can see in the background there's a three-wheel kind of trike there. These are, of course, placeholder models and things like that, but they're just getting the physics and the speed and all that stuff together. There'll probably also be a sidecar for the motorbike as well, so you could have a passenger in there. And it's cool to see the progress of this new vehicle come in. I don't know if it's going to be for next month or not, if it'll be ready for that. A lot of times, especially with a new vehicle type, there's a lot of things to account for. So I wouldn't be surprised if it takes another month or two before we see it in game. But it is cool to see progress. And on top of that, we've got Bradley, the scientists that now pop out of Bradley and protect Bradley when it's being engaged with. Looks like heavy scientists are going to be added to the mix of that in the near future. They're also going to have a more aggressive chase behavior and even alternate between taking cover and chasing when they're spawning. So some will come running at you, and other ones will hide behind Bradley. Whereas, like right now, it seems like mostly they're just hiding behind Bradley. And some of them, if not all of them, will be heavy scientists in the near future. So I was kind of expecting that from the get go anyway. So I'm not surprised to see the heavy scientists be added into the mix there. That is all still on a separate branch, so we'll have to keep you posted on that for some more specifics. There's also been a number of power fixes coming in and being worked on. This is in addition to the all the electrical improvements we saw go with the update last week. If you missed it, basically they removed the power consumption of a bunch of smaller items, and they also fixed a bunch of phantom drain issues that were happening, and they added that IO snapping. And then this week, we're seeing some miscellaneous fixes to it. We're seeing a new command called Pipette, which gives you the item you're looking at and places it in your hands. So it's kind of like a pickup ability, it looks like. And they've reduced the electrical button press time from 5 seconds to 1 second, and fixed a bunch of text descriptions and things like that, and reduced the electrical branch minimum branch power from 2 to 1. So just some other miscellaneous power fixes we're seeing come in. These are not live yet in a hotfix, and I believe still are mostly on a separate branch, but we'll probably see just with the update next month a bunch of other electrical changes come on in. In the realm of other stuff, we've got the big news this week on Nexus, and that clan system is it was merged into main. And this could be nothing, this could be insignificant, or it could be pretty significant and be an indicator that the devs are moving forward on launching this Nexus server to server transfer and clan system stuff in the near future. Right now, it's kind of up in the air, but we'll keep you posted on that. But having it merged into main is a pretty big milestone for the development cycle. So we'll keep you posted. There's more work on the M939 truck, which we think is going to be a player operated vehicle to come in. The truck is a military grade transport truck with 3 axles. And it's one of those things with kind of the covered roof in the back where you could fit a bunch of dudes in the back of it. So maybe this will be like the scrap heli for the ground in the near future, but still on a separate branch, so no visuals yet. They're working on some cliff reworks, so the cliffs around the map might look different and be optimized in the near future. They're working on the outpost redesign, so more work on just the monument redux stuff that was announced earlier this year. And we've already seen a number of that go live, with the oil rig and the harbors last week. They're working on wire slacking, which I'm not sure exactly what that is. They're doing some fixes for IO snapping, the electrical feature that went in last week where you hold left click. They're fixing the chicken suit, blocking prompts, which is cool. They're doing some tweaks to the patrol helicopter behavior, which changed drastically last week and I think had some unintended behavioral things, especially on solo servers. It's very hard to take that heli down as a solo now, if not impossible. So we're seeing some changes to that that probably will have to wait until next month to come in with the big update and force wipe. In a similar vein, the cargo ship is getting some behavioral shifts as well. And this is, I think, in large part due to it kind of going through certain parts of the map given certain map seeds. And if you were unfortunate enough to build a base on one of those parts of the map and the cargo ship goes through it, well, your whole base gets destroyed in one foul swoop. And we had some unhappy streamers experience that last week. Um, and no, I'm not going to roll the server back because the cargo ship went through your base. Sorry. Um, not only would I not do that for one group, but what do you think is going to happen when the cargo ship runs the next time? It's just going to go through your base again. So I don't know. But hopefully, we do see that behavior stuff fixed for the update next month. In the meantime, I be careful on which icebergs and stuff you build on, especially given the proximity to the harbor and the cargo ship docking there. There's also some rewriting of the ping estimation functionality. And this, I think, is just a thing that they launched understandably to give a more accurate reading of what the pings are due to all this A2S stuff. But unfortunately, it's not behaving properly and it does appear to be causing some performance issues potentially. So maybe we'll see another hotfix for that that improves that further, or maybe we'll just see it get yanked out until it's improved better. But we're seeing some tweaks on that still. And then finally, they fixed storage adapter not working after reskinning a tool cupboard. So that fix should be coming in the near future as well. And that about does it for what's going on in Rust development for the week.
I saw someone just came and said, "Man, I'm late. Can you start over?"
Yeah, well, we do post the VOD, and we also have been posting it on YouTube, even though the majority of the comments on YouTube are, dude, why can't you do this in 5 minutes? No one's gonna watch an hour. And I'm like, guys, it's a VOD of a stream. It's not like a standard YouTube video. I don't
Yeah.
know. And yeah, I probably should timestamp it, but man, I don't want to spend the time to timestamp it. If anyone wants to timestamp our videos and volunteer for that, shoot me a message on Discord and I'd gladly have someone do it. It's just, I don't fucking care enough to do it. Sorry, guys. Um, but yeah, you can get a recap and see the VOD once we go offline.
Well, I guess nothing wrong with doing fast forward. That works as well.
Oh yeah, that would work too.
You know, just tap the button.
Just
Um,
tap that
eh,
button.
tap, tap, tappity tap. Have they
Yeah, and
said
Shadowfrax takes care of the short ones. Sorry, I just saw that in chat. I'm like, yeah, Shadowfrax always already does that. He does an amazing job of it. So just watch
yeah.
Shadowfrax.
Have they said they're working on a patch to address the lag spikes?
I have not seen anything specifically around that. I am aware of some performance issues specifically related to the ping estimation stuff, and that could be attributing to some lag spikes because we have seen some indications as such. So if that is the main issue causing the lag spikes now, then yes, they are working on it. Personally, I'm not sure either way if that's the ping estimation or something else in the game. But the devs are working diligently to fix and do things. So hopefully it does resolve in the near future for you.
Important question. When's new AK recoil?
Oh, wow. That's a question we haven't gotten in a hot
Right?
minute.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, Helk did say that he's going to be working on recoil of various weapons. And we've already seen some tweaks this year to a couple weapons. And I think we will continue to see some revisions to the recoil on individual weapons as the year progresses. That said, I don't think we'll ever go back to old recoil. So sorry to all the people who are just saying bring back old recoil. I think that ship has sailed long, long ago. But nevertheless, I do think we probably will see some tweaks to weapons and recoil over the course of this year.
And I think that's it, actually.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, it's kind of a quiet week anyway, so I think we'll wind this puppy down a little early and then, hey,
Oh,
maybe the YouTube people will be happier that the video's not so long this week, you know?
so actually, I just saw it here. He says, "Hello, much love. I just want to say you are a good boy slash girl, Walmart, whatever, not judging. You matter. You are important. We love and appreciate all you do. Have fun and good stream. Goodbye."
Ah, that was pretty sweet. Thank you for saying that. And however you identify, be it boy, girl, or Walmart bag, I
Yeah,
appreciate you as well, and much love
not
to you.
judging.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. I just a quick thing, a lot of people think we're developers of the game or we're on the Facepunch payroll, and that is not the case. We're just an independent organization who loves reporting on development news and running the best servers that we possibly can. And the only way that we can do that is actually through the support of the community. So before we wind down, I do want to take a moment and say thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you for the bits. Thank you for the subs. And to our wonderful, beautiful, loyal VIP customers, thank you so much because you guys specifically, we couldn't run the servers that we do and show up every week. I'd have to be working as a Walmart bag if it weren't for this, probably. So thank you guys for all the support. We've been doing this for like 10 years now. I can't believe it. And it's really incredible like where we've come over that time and how this game is still going strong and where the game has come as a whole. So I just want to take a moment as we wind down here and express my gratitude to you all and appreciation and much love to you all. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Miss D and Artemis, for being my co-MCs as always.
as always, you're very welcome.
Yep, you're very welcome.
And also, I don't thank them enough. A huge thank you to the whole team at Rustafied because we've got a bunch of people that work on moderating the servers, they work on systems, they work on development, and they're awesome people. So thank you to the team at Rustafied. Thank you to Facepunch. Shit, thank you to EAC. EAC's been doing a lot better. So I'll even thank EAC here as we're acknowledging people. Holy shit, they're actually banning people in a relatively timely fashion sometimes, which is quite the improvement. So holy shit, thank you EAC too, and thank you
There's the first
Facepunch.
for everything.
Yeah, there is, and my tail's wagging. I love it. So, but yeah, just much love to you all. We'll be back next week as always, same time, same place to show you everything going on in the staging branch and in Rust development. In the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful week and a wonderful wipe. This is Bugs signing off.